How long does it actually take to pay off a Kindle? Maybe I'll try and restrain myself. Hello BookTube! So today I thought it would be really interesting to compare how much money am I spending on Kindle ebooks under the suspicion that I'm saving money versus buying it on physical books. So to do this, I only took the books I have bought on Kindle version this year, so at the beginning of 2019. I'll put pictures on the screen so you can understand what I'm talking about. I put the title of every book, how much the ebook cost, or how much I paid for the ebook, and the physical cost of the book. And I also delineated whether it was a new book or a used book if I was buying the physical copy. Now for me, most of the time, it doesn't matter if a book is new or used. However, if the used book was only a couple of cents cheaper than the new book, I would just buy the new book because it's only a couple of cents more expensive, so I'll just, I'm not that tight, I can spend a couple of cents on a new book if I'm already spending $12. The physical cost is all paperback because I really don't like to buy hard copies, exception, I have a couple of hard copies, hardback books because they were brand new when they came out and the paperback edition wasn't out yet, or I was getting it signed and they just didn't have the paperback version, which is the case for most of these. Actually, I think all of my hardbacks are the signed copies. And then I also did another column just for funsies to see if I have read the book or not, and if I read the book, I put it as a 1, if I haven't read the book, I put it as a 0. That way I could tally up, I could just do a sum cell and sum how many books I've read. And I did not include audiobooks because on Amazon, if you want the audiobook, it's cheaper to buy the Kindle book and the audiobook than just the audiobook on Audible. Because on Audible, everything's $30 and it's cheaper to buy two things for less. I made 2 histograms first. I made histograms of the physical books and a histogram of the ebooks. For the physical books, the median was $11.99. That means that it's most common. Stats drop real quick. I did median and IQR because the histograms are non-normal, and that just means that the histograms aren't following a smooth curved shape of any type. So because of that, even if it was skewed and skewed, I would use standard deviation and mean, but because they're not normal at all, I chose to use median and IQR to get a better representation of the center and spread. So the center is $11.99 and the spread is $2.84 for the physical books. That means that most of the books were around $11.99 if they were going to be a physical book. And that's IQR means it's not spread very far. They're really, that value, since this is, the smaller the value, the tighter all values are together. So the more similar all the values are. And then for the ebook version, the median was $2.99, but the IQR was $5.80. So most of the books cost around $2.99, but there was a greater spread. Then again, that spread is not very high. That's still a spread I'm okay with. If that spread was much higher, I would say that's kind of inconsistent. But you can see that for the physical books, most of them are under $20. In fact, 10 books were cost between $10 to $20, and 3 books cost under $10. And there was that one outlier of the book that cost about $53, and that's in between $50 and $60. And then for the ebooks, we see that most of my books did cost under $2. In fact, 6 of them cost under $2. 3 of them cost between $2 to $4. And then after that, there's it's not often that I spent more. So looking at that graph of ebooks, it's mainly the ones that were under $4. That's 9 of them. That's books that were either on sale because Kindle does a lot of $1.99 things. I'm enrolled in this thing called BookBub. It's free to join it, and I'm not an affiliate, I'm not getting any money for this. BookBub, you can just personalize it to your own preferences, and it'll give you recommendations of books for free. When books that you like are on sale, they'll let you know, and that's how I get some books for free, because I think they do a weekly book that's free, and there's a couple of them that if I read it, I'll get it, a couple of them that I don't. And otherwise, the ones that are above $6, these are books that they just came out. For example, on my list, that is Skyward, Tiger Flu, Storm of Locusts, City of Brass. Some of those that I just listed, they were more expensive because they were brand new. They were still, for the most part, cheaper in the Kindle version versus the paperback version. To further show that physical books cost more than ebooks, I made this box plot that you can see here. And I'm just looking down because I have this on my computer, but when you watch this, it'll be here in the orange, that is the physical books, and the blue is the ebooks. So you can see that the dark line, the solid dark line that's cutting the box plot across horizontally, that line is our mean for both of them. And so the mean is right above 10, so about 11 or 12, and then, I don't know, I would say that that's 3. So again, the median and the mean are relatively the same here, but because of the way the histogram displayed the data, I chose to do a median and IQR. But for the books that I actually bought, the physical book cost more than the ebook. Let's go to what you've all been waiting for. The grand total. I have spent $65.09.
$65.09.
That's not a lot to spend on books because most of my books I do get for free from the library, but that's kind of high. I didn't think I'd spent that much on books this year. I want you to think in your head, like one of those 90s infomercials for like foam sand or whatever, or those, no, you remember those pens that you like blew in and it like made those airbrush pens? I want you to hear the voice of the telemarketer telling you, not for $300, not for $250, but for $211. That's how much the physical books would have cost if I had bought them myself. And like, to be fair again, I looked up the prices for the book, knew if it was not that much cheaper than used, and used if it was significantly cheaper enough for me to consider buying it used. And I used that price in this format. So I saved not $100, not $110, but $146.50. That's crazy. That makes 65 not seem that bad. The fact that I'm buying them on Kindle, it doesn't seem that bad. And also, because I saved almost $150, I want to add that my Kindle, I think, was about $150. That's a lot of money, but already within 6 months, I have paid that off. I have saved that money back. So that means that any purchase I buy of any ebooks after this point is a savings for me. It's a savings, but it's not the ultimate savings, right? Because the ultimate savings would be waiting for the book from my library. For a Kindle to be worth it, it took me about 6 months because I got it for Christmas for myself. Sometimes you do see books that the new price is cheaper than the ebook price, but that is rare. There's only 2 out of all the books that I have here. I think I have 14 books. 1 out of 7 books for me cost more as the ebook than a physical book, but it wasn't that much more. I did have a lot of books that I got for free, as I mentioned, on BookBub. Y'all can sponsor me someday, that'd be cool. And some of those were $0, but the paperback version would be $10. There was one I got for $2.99, and if I was to buy each of those paperback books individually, since they don't sell a bundle of all the 4 together, it would have been $54. So $3 versus $54. That's a savings of $50 right there. And that's insane. If you want to see me do more statistics like this on my channel, let me know. We can make that happen. I hope I maybe convinced you that e-readers do save you money. I hope that if you were thinking of buying one, I provided some useful advice for you. I hope that you get some time to read today. And until I see you again, thank you. Bye.
I needed to run and find somebody to love, but all I needed was some coconut oil. Don't worry about the small things. I know I can do all things. Mama always told me.
And I'm not an affiliate, like I'm not getting any money for this. I'm gonna get like 2 views, they're not gonna give me a cent. $65 could have gone towards student loans that I haven't paid off. But here we are.